as somebody that knew nothing about betting before this show started, it has been a quick master class on betting from Scott Braun, who is the host of the show. He's been into this for a long time. I've never really gotten into it, but now I know all the words and all the little sayings you guys have, and it's fun now. It's great. BetMGM does a great job with us. We talk baseball and foul territory. Myself, Scott Braun, Eric Kratz, Todd Frazier, Adam Jones, and we just talk like baseball players talk. And then all of a sudden they say, "Hey, by the way, we have to pick a lock of the day." I didn't realize how hard it was to pick one game a day that you think, "Hey, I can win," because the games you want to pick a lot of times, at least for me, you look at the money line, you say, "Okay, well, the Dodgers should beat the Oakland A's." Well, then it's minus 350, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, okay, well, I don't want to put 350 up to win 100." So then you start looking for better value, and then you lose, and you're like, "Well, gosh darn it, man, why didn't I just pick the sure winner?" Right? So it's a fun thing every day we do, but it's become really hard. And my family makes fun of me because I'll stay up and watch like a late game on the West Coast, and they're like, "Why are you staying up?" I'm like, "Because I just want to know if my bet hits."
Right. The worst part for me is during college basketball season when it's like I'm watching Kennesaw State and Marist. I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like I gotta take a break from everything here.
Speaking of robots and speaking of like robo-umps and the strike zone soon probably being automated, how does that change the game for catchers? Because for so long, pitch framing has been a big part of catchers, arsenal. Do you think this is going to change, the trajectory of like how catchers are brought up in the system? How do you think this changes the game?
Well, it changes it because framing won't matter. They're just going to care, can you hit and can you throw a guy out when he steals? And those are going to become the big things, because if you don't have to frame a pitch, then why does it matter how you catch it? If it's just automatically called a strike, just knock it down and keep the guy from going to the next base. And if he steals, try to throw him out. And can you get a hit or not? So the thing for me with it is, you know what you're going to see a lot more of? Big curveballs, like the Barry Zito, Rick Sutcliffe curveball that start above your head and end up in the ground. Because all the strike zone has to do is nip a part of your knee and nip a part of the plate. So if it comes almost straight down like an ephus pitch, so if we're looking at it like this and the ball comes straight down and it nips the strike zone, guess what? Even though it bounces right on top of the plate, but it's coming straight down, that's a strike in the automated system. So you're going to see a lot more big, slow curveballs, and hitters better get used to it, because that's going to be called a strike from the automated strike zone.
Jenks, who do you like? What's the play?
Oh, I love the over here in a big, big way. And I'm going to play it at 10 and hammer the over here. Look, Adam Wainwright got beat up in his last start against a light-hitting Tigers team. He's lost some velocity as well. He's 41 years old, and going back to last season, he has really struggled. James Paxton making his season debut, and he was not great while rehabbing in the minors. Gave up 15 runs in 21 and two-thirds innings. Also, as we know, Chelsea, the Red Sox are fantastic to the over, and the over is 7-1 in the Cardinals' last 8 games. The over is also 4-0 in the Red Sox last 4 games at home. I'm going to go over 10, minus 120, and play it. I think we're going to see a slugfest.
Ugh. Isn't this one 10.5 now? Good God, what a total. Because I do think the over is the right play, but that's such a high total. Like maybe at 10 you play it, but I'm not playing it at 10.5. That seems like a lot, especially for a Cardinals offense that's really been feast or famine. They have all the names in the lineup, but yet it's not a team that's produced as much as one would think. We know at least the Boston Bats should come alive. Maybe it's worth a play on the Boston team total here, because I think that's the more dependable offense here. I would imagine it's probably 5.5. So I'll go that route. Red Sox team total over 5.5. Oh, for sure. And I think people sleep on the Nuggets because I think there's been 2 postseasons where Jamal Murray has been injured. And so he wasn't even in the fold. And people just say, oh, well, Nikola Jokic, she doesn't really perform in the postseason. You can't say that anymore. Dude has had 4 triple-doubles in the postseason thus far. We're talking about the postseason. I'm not talking about regular season games where you can pad your numbers and put up a Russell Westbrook type of performance in a loss. These are meaningful games against the best of the best. So, yeah, the Nuggets are here. The Nuggets are, shouting it from the rooftops that, hey, maybe you should start paying attention to us. because they were underdogs in this game. Jinx, are there any other ways to bet this game that you think are relevant here before we move on?
Ooh, I don't know. This game, I honestly, for me, I don't want to take a shot at the total. I think totals are so difficult, at least for me personally. Every now and then in the NBA, I'll throw a little scratch down on a total. But I just love the Heat. I absolutely love the Heat, and I don't know at what point this number is too big. It's only moved a point. I know it's 5.5 points, but it's only gone from 4.5 to 5. So it's not like this is a monster movement. It's just a point in the Heat's direction. I just love the Heat, and I think the Knicks are going to be outclassed here. And I also think the Heat are getting contributions from guys that we didn't anticipate because of their injuries. And even here's the thing, even Jimmy Butler said it after Game 5, where it wasn't the offense. It was just little things that they can tweak moving forward. So it's not like this is a cold shooting team. It's not like this is a team that doesn't have guys who have stepped up. They just didn't get it done. And we're very close. Remember, they put within 2 points of the Knicks at the Garden. So they could have very easily won that game. Back in Miami tonight, I love the Heat.
Today's best bets.
Chelsea, as I always say to you, I want some dubs, and we have some plays. We're on the same exact bet. We have some similar plays on the same game. So what are you starting with here?
Yeah, best bet of the day for me is going to be on the Texas Rangers in the first 5 innings, -0.5 over the Oakland A's. This is just looking at the numbers and giving what the numbers are telling me. Because listen, the Rangers not only have the better pitcher here in Martin Perez, 4-1 this year, also they're the best run-scoring team in all of baseball in the first 5 innings, going against Ken Waldichuk, who has an ERA of 6. And also an Oakland team that's bottom 10 in all statistical categories when it comes to their offense, and also their offense against left-handed pitchers. Guess what? The Rangers also facing a lefty in Ken Waldichuk. And guess what? The Rangers are very good against left-handed pitching. Top 5 in OPS and average against lefties. So I think that spells out Rangers in the first 5, -0.5, -120 over the A's today.
Chelsea, I like that pick. I don't even know where to start here. I guess I'll throw this one out as my favorite. Pirates at the Orioles over 8. -140. I hate those in baseball, so yes, I'm playing this down. But you've got Kyle Bradish facing Johan Oviedo. Bradish has one quality start over his last 5 games with an ERA of almost 6. Oviedo has given up 17 runs in his last 12.2 innings of work. Both the Orioles and Pirates, top 15 hitting clubs. I know the Pirates have been cold recently. I get that. But with these two pitchers on the mound, I think you play it down to 8, and the total is too low. Pirates at the Orioles over 8. Let's do it.